there's always this narrative of being touted that they're more intelligent than we are. They have more insight than we do. And so how is it possible most of the time that they're interacting with a man, they're duped? I don't know that to be true in my observed experience. And there has been a shift in energy, maybe generationally. Women of now and maybe the younger are now not even concerned. Like I think someone said, they're not even really liking men. They want to create a baby and then detach. And it's been because it's been popularized to now just be a mother, not so much be a wife, not so much be a solid woman. Mm-hmm. But if I get a baby, then now I'm solidified meeting my woman-like mandate from a societal perspective. I just don't see it that men are that intelligent to be duping these women in. So I'm here to be educated.
Yeah, plus women claim they are smart. They talk about women's intuition. They say they have a bunch of degrees. They're smarter than men. They don't need men. They got degrees. They got their own money. So maybe they should hold themselves accountable. If women were as smart as they claim, they wouldn't be in therapy. Because you find a woman who's in therapy for 10 years still complaining about men. Because I would think if you're going to therapy, your therapist would tell you what the issue is, or would help you figure out what the issue is, so you don't have to keep complaining about men and how men ain't shit. You find out with 3 baby daddies still going to therapy, and then the next year she gets a 4th baby daddy still going to therapy.
I understand that. And I think so. Men hear women's intuition and somehow translate that into this Harry Potter sort of magic ability to be able to see things. Like we don't open and touch and give me all of the things and then we have them. Women's intuition is literally that men are not sneaky. Like y'all don't like you change your change up is so apparent. Like there's no magical ability to be able to know things. But we see when you don't speak to us the same way. We see that you don't have this kiss on the cheek that lasts for 5 seconds. It lasts for 1 quick second and you walk away. We see changes because men have the things that they do, and when their feelings change, they change, and it is so apparent. I don't date women, so I can't say nothing. That's why I'm not addressing the women and how they react when they change. I'm just telling.
There's 2 things, right? Mm-hmm. You said that the change up is, imperceivable to women. And the thing is, a lot of women think that men just change up just because we had ulterior motives at the beginning. I would say that more often than not, it's because we got to know you and now we don't like you as much as we did in the beginning. Men don't play the long game when it comes to getting stuff they want from women. We play the short game, which would be, supported by the fact that we give so many of y'all babies that we don't. We give you guys access to babies that we don't want. So it's not a lot of men are just inherently being evil or mean and just switching up on y'all. It's literally, to say it simply, sometimes just finally worth the squeeze. Everybody panel had doing something super bad and then got it and being like, yeah, this ain't what I thought it was. Everybody has. Some of us made a bunch of money and been like, yeah, this ain't it. Some of us, finally got a family, like, okay, I don't feel fulfilled here. Some of us got promotions in our jobs and was like, this money ain't worth what the fuck it is, to get here. So it's not, I would say it's few and far in between that men just, nefariously get between you guys' legs. So that's one thing.
Men don't even usually switch up like that, if we're going to be honest. If men really switched up the way she was trying to say, men would be filing the most divorce. And even if a man switches up, we have family court that is always going to hold him accountable, whether through child support, whether through alimony. Men know there are consequences for just switching up on a woman. Now we are talking about marriage, but even if it's not that, even if it's just a relationship. If a man switches up on his woman and they have kids, there are consequences. Society has consequences for that man. But if a woman switches up, other women literally tell her, you should choose yourself. Put yourself, girl. You're a queen. You deserve everything. They don't hold her accountable. And the reason they don't hold her accountable is because they are hoping if they do the same thing to their man, other women will champion them and celebrate them and motivate them and encourage them. That's the number one reason women don't hold each other accountable, because they know at one point they're going to do the same thing this friend of hers is doing, so they don't want to be held accountable. That's why they cannot. And in fact, if they hold each other accountable, they won't be friends for long.
Second thing is, y'all don't need to cut access to your vaginas off. You need to cut access to your uteruses off. That's the difference. I don't have an issue with any of y'all fucking anybody y'all want to. Or excuse me, having sex with anybody y'all want to. What y'all need to do is just stop getting pregnant. You guys have dozens of forms of birth control that you guys can choose to affect. Hormone free, so we don't have to have that argument.
I agree.
If you guys did that, and then you would not have to worry about all of the, okay, shit, now I got to go get this $300 in child support from this guy that he's not going to pay. So now he owes 10 years and dude can't get a passport. Like, a lot of those problems will be solved or like removed from you guys as just things you got to worry about if you block access to your uterus.
Facts.
It's not your vagina. Because a lot of the times, the fact that your vaginas and, your throats are some of the most useful things to the men you're dating. And that's what access to those things as the top tier men do. So if you guys shut your vaginas down, like you're saying, it's a flow chart, right? You're putting the block in the wrong place. If you put the block at your vagina, it hurts you. You put the block at your uterus, it helps you. Because you definitely can benefit significantly more from still having sex, dating, and being with men than you can when you don't have to worry about this guy, a year later not working. Because then a year later, all you do is just take extra mile of dick. But
that's true. I mean, women can sleep around all they want. They can have as many bodies as they wish, as long as they stop having a baby for every man they sleep with. I think most people will be okay, because you cannot stop people from sleeping around or having sex, but they should stop bringing kids into this life and then complain about how the baby daddy ain't shit. How's the baby daddy? What did you expect from a baby daddy that you just had a one-night stand with? Like, come on. What did you expect when you chose the guy that you knew couldn't hold a job? And then for the guys they have one-night stands with, they never have these crazy standards for them. They always have the crazy standards for the men they want to play stepdad. She will have 3 kids with 3 different men, sometimes 5 men, because sometimes they don't know who the real daddy is anyway. And then after the 3rd baby daddy, then she raises her standards for the new man who's going to be a stepfather, and she's not giving him any more kids because she's tired of having babies. She's going to get her tubes tied, and then she's going to ask for a 6-figure stepfather. And we're asking ourselves, why didn't you have those same high standards for these other guys before you had the babies? It never makes sense. And then you, the stepfather, she's going to put you on child support, but she didn't put the baby daddy on child support. Anyway, shout out to Lapif. This was interesting.